should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Baby, I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Yeah. Moving through all my fears, you're blurring out my vision. Watching your every smile like your television. In your eyes I see myself, I'm falling. Make it make sense, it must be the temptation speaking. What am I supposed to do, cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo, put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution, hopeless solution, hopeless solution. Do you believe me? Do you believe me? That I'm a lonely soul, would you love me? I've been searching, always wanted more, can you hear me? Do you believe me? That I'm a lonely soul, would you love me? I've been searching, always wanted more, can you hear me?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome for the start of the season for the Pure Sim Gear GT3 for the usual Friday evening that you may appreciate with the Pro and the Silvers and the Silver drivers. Since the new categorization of drivers into 4 different splits, and for tonight it's going to be quite a lot of drivers, as I think there are 37 drivers if I saw correctly, while I'm just adjusting a couple of things. Okay, now it should work correctly. And for whoever is new, welcome. I'm Cristian Romano, your commentary guy for the rest of the season and for the rest of the 7 rounds that will follow. And well, maybe I can, okay. And we have tonight, I said 39, I was correct. It is indeed 39 drivers, so a very full stacked lobby for the Friday round. And you can clearly see the 2 different colors. The green one is the pros and the blue one is the silver drivers. And obviously there are 20 minutes of qualifying, as you can see in the upper part of the leaderboard on the left. And there are 10 minutes for each class, and they need to set the time onto those 10 minutes. They need to start the lap onto those 10 minutes, and every lap after the marker is not considered valid. For this championship there are seasonal prizes, as in the rookie for the Tuesday, and for this for the championship there are prizes for both first and second in the standing, as the main sponsor of the championship, Pure Sim Gear, offers gloves with custom prints for the Pro in P1, gloves plus socks for the silver in P1, and for both silver and Pro in P2 in the championship there will be a pair of gloves for them too. Everything is thanks to our sponsor for tonight. And also you can check sim stuff on the right part of your screen with the QR code if you want to create a league of your own, as this very one, and they are very helpful in this. And also thanks to our to all of partners that you can see on the bottom part of your screen, as we were with Blanchette with the first effective time being set. So Blanchette will set the first of many laps in the qualifying session, and it will be a 44.4, obviously banger lap, so nothing exceptionally fast, possibly not even the final, surely not the final lap, as Caprino in the 27 is in pole for now, 41.2. I expect a 40.6 at least, with a possible 40.4, because usually that's the pro times are around there, as Klein, the Belgian driver, goes with a 41.1. And we already have the first of the 30. It's Jan Dofner in the Eclipse Racing Esports car, and he already set the current benchmark for all the drivers. Still many have to make their the first lap even. So as of now I'm not entirely sure where to look at. For now I think we can go with whoever is improving, which is clearly Otto, the Italian in the 77 Audi, goes in 4th place, with Prisce in 5th and the Romain in 7th. All deliveries are provided thanks to the Amazon Sim Racing client, and if some of them are not visible, it's not my fault because as always I sync them just before the live starts. And as an addition to the last season, we will have some interviews with the pole position driver and the winner of the race, but everything comes afterward, as Odo is currently setting the pole lap. Same goes for Duffner, that is making another improvement, a massive one too. There is... oh, the cross on the very limit! Already is trying to find the line that can't really forgive you, but for now the Porsche driver goes 4 times and nearly 5 and sets an astonishing 40.4. And the German driver in the 33 is already setting a great time for the ERS. While Otto, I think his improvement is definitely going to be an issue for the German driver. As a 77, 8 times for now, it will be enough for Paul. Even him goes absolutely into the limit, physically, and into the grass, but I think it paid off a bit. Literally on the line to set the time, and I think it will be just for 43 milliseconds, just enough for pole position. Provisional pole, 40.4, so at this point I'm expecting a 39 from the pro. I was... effectively, I don't know how many degrees are there. Let me check quite quickly. Ah, 26, okay. Okay. That really helps, okay. Never mind. I thought there were more. Simply enough. Usually with these temperatures you can really set a very good time. I suppose we can see a 39 and 7 at this point for qualifying with these settings. Is that surface optimum? Is it? It is. Okay. As Caprino, we were sitting with him briefly, and Pandolf Caprino in the 27, and the Italian goes in 4th. So for now, we have Audi and Porsche clearly making you understand the cars that are stronger around Kyalami. Kyalami is an usual theater for the rear engine suppliers, such as Audi, Honda, Porsche, and it's quite clear that here the domination of the rear engine is getting together. There are, in the first 6 places, 6 rear engines, well, mid, to be honest. The Porsche is the effective rear, as the Audi is a mid engine, but either way you understood what I was about to say. As Romain goes in 7th, 4 times of improvement, a bit far from the pole, 8 times, but nevertheless a very good time. Seems like the qualifying session for now is very packed up between P5 and I would say P20, a second between P7 and P20, while the first 6, now the first 5, as Curtain goes in 6th place, went in 6th place, I wasn't looking at him, and Curtain in the 8th Porsche. Caprino is still improving on the final corner of the track into Ingue, to number 16, and in fact he goes in 3rd place, and qualifying is completed for him. Yes, it is. 1 minute to go for the silver, and I don't think the pitted drivers will have any chance to make an improvement. As a matter of fact, I think now the real challenge is between Odd and Duffner. Blanchett is the second driver, no, the 3rd driver, as Longden was also in the pits. There are too many green times. You can see the delta is basically just a green column at this point, and even the red ones are very close to their times. So for now we will go with Ippolito, just because it seems like a very good improvement for now, as Simone Ippolito in the 140 Porsche, was improving 3 times, but I'm more concerned about Contogiannis, that is making a very good lap time, as the Porsche is very much on the... oh, in fact too much on the grass, half spin, and is qualifying over for him, while the Ferrari behind him is Contogiannis, 92 Ferrari. The Greek driver, the traction control kicking in a bit too much there. But nevertheless, he's 4th place, 3 times away from provisional pole. And I think qualifying is over. Yes, I think he didn't make it on time by literally 2 seconds, I suppose. I wasn't really looking, as Curtin is not French. Kyalami is Irish, as Curtin is He's making a bit of an improvement. He currently has the quickest Sector 1, but he's just in 6th, so this really puts into perspective how much the setup and just the sheer track lines really suit drivers more than some. Quite odd to see Otto, as Daphne concludes the qualifying in P2. Quite odd to see Otto pole position time, as that was an off track, so Curtin goes into the pits with Goodway being the last of the improvements in 11th place. Couple of spots being gained. No, never mind, it's not the last. There is Chris Schneider in the Mercedes 14 that will set a 6th position jump and goes in 15th place, and Romain stays in 8th place. So now it's the Pro. It's effectively the Pro are Foltea goes in 14th place for Foltea, making the very last lap the one that counts. So now I think we can go with whoever is in front, which I have absolutely no clue who that is. I think maybe it's clear to go here and pick... No, I think it is indeed the Ferrari driver, Cassiterash. Hi, Kakmiaye. It is Cassiterash, the first driver that will set a lap. We'll go with a little splitter ride. Funaka Cassiterash into this corner is beautiful, but a bit of a lift off. More than a bit of lift off. I think that the time is indeed ruined for the 789. A bit too much wide. A bit too much wide into sunset to number 6. And now I think at this point the next car is the 86, which is Pozniakov in the 86 Honda. Andriy Pozniakov with a very colorful livery for Ballas Esports. And the 86 driver with behind there is another Honda. I don't entirely sure that is. I think it's Volovchuk, the teammate. So teammates in action. Although there is no slip sim available for the teammate behind. This corner is phenomenal, and as many have seen yesterday, killer of many races. Poznikov on the very line and goes into 3rd place, a tenth away from Otto, and that was the banger lap. Keenan is the second time to come across, 7th place for the Porsche with Elipo in 8th place. At this point it's just a checklist of names. Baron goes in 12th. And come on, names, pop up. Rumelsev is in 12th place. Andy Catania goes in 6th. This is a very nice livery. Let me see it. Okay, from the front it was... It kind of reminded me of a Rocket League livery. I don't know why from the front. It's I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. For me it is a good thing. But anyway... I don't know why I did a dream and I remember dreaming about this moment. And now I'm regretting doing it twice, both in the dream and here in real life, damn. Anyway, Andy Poznikov is still improving. For now, the time that he will set is enough for pole. Remember that pole position for now is a 40.4, definitely a very good time. And the Honda driver, the Honda here is very good, but the Honda is very good, period. Like, just choose a track and you have a good... Oh, time being aborted by Andriy Poznikov. You saw how he went absolutely wide into the last corner to have the best possible speed into the straight, so this time wasn't really anything. As Keenan goes in 4th place, the Irish driver in the 78 Porsche, change of dress from the Honda. Speaking of Honda, Alfibano still Honda main, and stays in the Honda and goes in third. So for now the orange cars are in pole and third in class, with Pozniakov being in the sandwich. But nevertheless, it's not pole position overall, and remember here there is no class split. Opposite to IMSA. But that's something for endurances. As I don't think as Alex are in the Bentley currently. As I have to see something here. It is Eli Poe in the 69 Aston. There may be some issues with the liveries, because some liveries may be synced, some maybe not, for whatever reason. Currently the lap time being scored by Eli Poe was really good, and then he made a mistake into the hairpin. Little mistake that... oh! I'm just seeing that Alfie Barron set the same exact time to Daphner in second place, but there are just 3 minutes to go, and he is tied with him. But as always, first time is in front because of track improvements. As Polovchuk goes in 6th place and goes into the pits, and Poe goes in 2nd place, 38 milliseconds away from pole. That hairpin will possibly be into the nightmares, because it would have been pole position otherwise. Ruminetsev is in 6th place, and Pozniakov makes... How is it possible? There are two equal times, 43 milliseconds and 108.108. So 3rd and 5th are tied with 4th and 6th respectively, but as always it is the time being made first that has the best position, and with 2 minutes to go I don't think there is a real chance for improvement. Nevertheless, it's Terence Kina that is making one. Remember, there is still a Pro-Am driver, no, a silver driver into the lead of the qualifying session, and for now the orange car with black and white add-ons setting a very good lap to this. I think we can go in the splitter. This here is a very important turn. He approaches a very wide line compared to the usual narrow, but if it works, why not? He goes slightly wide into the corner to not have the sausage curb making him explode, and I think that was what ruined his lap time. He stays in 7th, and it was very unfortunate. He was 2 times quicker, but he still has a time that can be set, because he has fuel enough to set another time. Meanwhile, QL in the 555, in the 25 with 0.555 from pole, he's about to set a little improvement that may make him into 13th. I can't believe it. It's the same, again, it's the same time to Zagdal in 12. There are 3 tied drivers. I've never seen anything in all my driving career. 3 drivers equal on qualifying. Well, 6 actually, because effectively it's 6 different drivers. This is how packed up the field is, with Cassitrash making a bit of an improvement, 2 attempts on his own time that may lead him into, well, if he can stay with 2, okay, it will make him into 14th. 2 times between 14th and 16th, and then you see from 1st to 9th there are 2 times. It's an astonishing qualifying, this one here. The action is absolutely packed up. We have, in a single second, there are 21 drivers, and in qualifying this qualifying session is very good indeed. For now we go with Cassitrash. Basically 95% of the field already at the end of the qualifying. There are a couple of pro drivers without a time. There is Garby without a time. There is Juwig 1.5 away. And there is Cassitrash kind of in the very last spots of the pro class, but with a bit of an improvement. Stays in 16th. I thought there was an improvement in position, and there is none. Pozniakov is gonna ruin my dream of having 6 different drivers tied, going in pole position. So Pozniakov goes in pole, and Elipo goes in second place. So at least we have a front row of pro drivers. Antonino Oddo was very close to making the first qualifying session of the season a historic one, because he would have been in pole, even if it would have been class pole and overall pole, even if being a silver. But nevertheless, and now I need to adjust a couple of things, because I need to do this, and I need to add something. Let me do quickly. Application, it should work. Where is it? Okay, go. Okay, maybe it should work. Let me see if we have. No, there is no. Okay, never mind what I said. For this season, I thought there would have been any interview. I'm going to ask very quickly. Okay. Obviously, they have a very short time, a very short span of time before the start of the race. And I think we can go with a little preview of the entire field. I want to go here. Okay. And please tell me it's okay. It's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Let me go here. And you can see all the drivers and all the cars with all the perfect livery there is. I want to go with a little. I need the race control, otherwise I can't make it. There is currently Pozniakov into the right side of your screen and the left side of the track. Then there is Elipo in second, Antonino Oddo and Ian Dufner third and fourth, and pole position second place in silver class. Then there is Barn, Rumiacev, Keenan, Polovchuk, Caprino and Contogiannis in the Ferrari that completes the top 10 in qualifying. Then we have Di Catania, Zakdal, Kiel, Presce, Catania, Cassitrash, Curtin, Klein, as I went a bit too much high with my camera, Romain, Van Horn in 20th place in the number 16 Aston Martin, as I think we are, okay, this is Romain and there is 16 on the left. Then we have the Audi, Lewis, Cross, Goodway in 23rd in the Aston on the right, the Ferrari of Blanchett, Whelan, Foltea, Duran, Chris Schneider in the 14, with Orman in the 31 McLaren. Porsche number 51, it's Sagetti, then Ippolito in 31st place, then Kiss, Osorio, Juwig, Sadnikov, Longden in 36th place in the 328 Honda. And then in 37 it's Wise, then with Jones, Maye and Garby completing the field. But anyway, we go back into the field here, as I heard a couple of okay. We went with a little go around with the field. A very 40 drivers field. I think it's maximum capacity for the race. But nevertheless, we'll go with the interior cam, because we can go with a little ride on the track. Turn 1 is not turn 1, because it's the king in turn 1. Crowton is turn 2, then there is Juxei Sweep, and then barbecue turn 5. This one here, you have to have a very narrow line, but not too much, because if you go too much on the curb, you may as well jump and lose the car by either going into the grass or just losing with a spin. This is straight, not too long, to then give you sunset, turn number 6, one of the most famous corners of the whole track, and definitely one of the most, I wouldn't say important, but nevertheless, not easy to make it wrong, but very easy to gain a lot of temps by doing it correctly. Turn 7 is a clubhouse. You tend to brake just when the curb, the red and white curb starts, and then the S. Here you have to be very close to the curb. The S's is 8 and 9. And on the outside here is quite usual to see a couple of drivers making mistakes, trying to have the best possible exit, go into the grass, and the grass is not forgiving here by throwing you into the wall. And then the blind braking spot into the hairpin, because here there isn't a real braking marker, because Luke up and then 11, which doesn't have a name, don't have a real braking marker. You have to kinda imagine it and maybe trying to take a cloud in the sky or a pigeon that sits somewhere, because you don't really have any real marker, but nevertheless you have to make it perfectly, because there are 2 temps sitting in the middle of the apex. Then this one here is a very unusual one, because the crocodiles, 13 and 14, but this one here, there are 3 different lines and all have the same exact meaning in terms of time. It depends on the setup. You can have a narrow line, a very wide line, or just a compromise of the 2 by utilizing all the external part, and it's just up to the driver to decide which line is the better. And then Cheetah has just 1 line, and if you just miss it, it's game over by either the curb or the wall or both. And then the last corner, Ingwe, turn number 16. But as always, we go in the 4th place from the Helicam with Ian Dufner, 2nd place in qualifying. It's going to be close to the start. Couple of seconds to go. Ian Dufner taking a bit of space. You can see Poe already sitting. Green light, and away we go. A bit of a poor start by the pink driver. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a straight line of cars. Elipo now already in third with Arnold trying to get a position. A bit too optimistic, and there is a crash here. Dufner is already being crashed with a couple of drivers being hit, and there is a multiple amount of drivers being destroyed in this situation. I can't really say anything of sense. Multiple drivers being involved. I think this was possibly the most number of cars I've ever seen in a race being involved, and this gives Elipo the lead of the race with Alfie Baron in 2nd for the Eclipse Racing Esports, and Rumlas in 3rd with the Catania in 4th. And at this point I'm not entirely sure how everything happened. I think it was Antonino Oddo making the start, because he basically threw the car into turn 2, and then everything sparked out just briefly after. And then there is Curtin in 6th, and managed to get into a very good position. Ippolito is trying the overtake into Horman, into the McLaren. It's at 140, very close to making the position. I'm seeing Chris Schneider losing a couple of spots, now in 12th place, but there is Ippolito losing one because Sagetti goes into inside in the hairpin, and I think the position has been done. Meanwhile, on the wing there is no problem, but on the splitter there is one. It's Sagetti in the Porsche in front, but no overtake whatsoever. Meanwhile, there is a BMW trying the inside into the corner. Can he make it stick? And the answer is possibly, with a yes afterwards. Krishnader is into the wall! Krishnader is into the wall! Obviously, every incident will be seen after, because at this moment it's just no sense. And there are a couple of cars going into the pits. Ippolito goes into the pits, Zorio goes into the pits. Why is he trying the overtake on the Porsche of Wheeline in 23rd place, but he will go up to the field? Maybe not, because it seems like the best overtake position here is being tried by Longden behind Kina. Kina with damage on the front, that's for sure. So after a possibly 20 drivers incident, as there is Maya making the move on good way in 21st place. I'm trying to get the most stable and kinda settled camera. I really can't, so I will go with the Helicam, as there is an overtake there with good way trying the inside. There is no overtake. There is a contact between the Ferrari of Cassitrash and I think it was Willa in the 66. Cassitrash goes back into the track and goes, oh, there is a car going completely into the wall. It's Romain sitting across the track and taking out a Ferrari. It was Blanchette being involved and Foltea too, with an Aston sitting in the middle of the track. We go back into a bit of a more uphill position. Contact between, I think it's Keenan and Longden, with Longden that was trying to get a position in a bit of a maybe too optimistic way. You can see Keenan with a pretty destroyed front end. Race destroyed by the Irish, for the Irish driver, by everything that happened into the very first corners. He's trying the best he can, but there isn't much that can be done between a car with huge damage and a car with a pretty reliable car. Meanwhile, there is Pozniakov trying the inside, making the inside and making the position for himself without asking too much. There is Romain into the pits. And repeat start. I'm already seeing in chat there is the red flag, asking for red flag. I would agree. I'll be honest, I would agree. But I'm not in the race control room, so I can't make anything. For now, we'll stay with the battle for first place. Baron second, Eli Point first after a destroyed and cataclysmic start that involved basically the entirety of the field in a way or another. We go with the position delta. You can see from the position delta how many changes there has been. Catania making 10 places, Sayeti making 19, and there is 11 places for some drivers, 17 for Juwig. But for now we stay with the front. Po with 1 position being gained, Baron with 3. And I think now he is seeing the best possible solution for his problems in qualifying, as Zachtal made an overtake for 6th place. Into the inside he went, and Curtin is now in 7th. I think I want to stay in front because this challenge is very appealing to be seen. But for now there is no overtake, but I think the Porsche may be wanting, maybe trying to make the move there. There isn't anything happening. Pozniakov was one of the involved, and remember, he was the pole sitter with a McLaren. It's a free wide into the hairpin. It's not a hairpin, it's a corner. But no overtake happens nevertheless. At this point I need a couple of eyes more, as Pozniakov goes into the inside and makes the move stick into the McLaren of Orman. It's the 31, maybe some contact between two drivers, no contact whatsoever. It's side by side into the straight. I wonder if Pozniakov has some damage. For now it goes straight. We'll see if there is any overtake, and then we'll go with the replays. He goes into the inside and makes the overtake into the McLaren number 31, and Horman is now position behind. And then, okay, the amount of cars being involved here is astonishing. We'll go with the car 70 and from the Helicam to see back what happened, as I want to wait a bit, as I want to go here. So we go. Oh no, I can't see the replay. Apparently there is too many replays that happened, so I can't see the replay from the start of the race. How many laps have I passed? Okay, effectively it's on me this time. 7 minutes have passed, so effectively the replay are stored for just 5. May I see maybe... Okay, I just can't really be sure where I will go, as Elipo goes a bit wide. So for now we'll stay with the lead battle, as Contogiannis goes in 9th. A bit of a radio commentary for you all. And Pozniakov goes in 13th, with Horman in 15th. As you can see, the overtakes on the left part of the screen in the column. There is Baron setting the fastest lap of the race, 41.1, just a 41.4. So I think the Honda will have a possible overtake coming in the upcoming laps, or even minutes if needed. Currently Curtin is the leader of the silver class, with the, I think, guilty part of Antonino Oddo not even in the race. Okay, he's in 36th place, all the way down the grid. But I'll be honest, from the aerial view it seemed like it was on him. But anyway, for now we'll stay here with the battle. Splitter come for us as Alfie Baron is very close to Elipo's rear into Clubhouse. Turn 7 very wide. The Aston very close to the apex for the Honda 95. Still seems like the Honda is clearly quicker in the lines, but the Aston is just a tiny bit quicker overall. And for now, I think I have just a couple of seconds to breathe, because this was definitely a start of the season. And if it starts like this with literal fireworks in the track with a 20 car pile-up in the very start, I'm fearing for the rest of the season. Polovchuk goes in 26th. Did he make a pit stop? And the answer is no. I just think that he has damage as Polovchuk is now down the grid in 26th. Not, I think it was clearly one of the involved from the start. And anyway, the leader in qualifying is in 13th place for the incident. It's I suppose if any disciplinary action will be taken, it will be a very heavy one and a major one for sure. Polovchuk goes for the move on the McLaren of Maye, and the pro driver really has to make it quick, as Duffner is possibly the one that lost the most. Duffner was 4th in the grid, and after the incident he's just in 29th and undeserved position for many drivers. I think, well, I'm just taking the ones that I'm seeing the most, that was seen the most in the front of the field and the pack. 24th position being gained for Longden is, I think he is the best gainer so far. 24th position is astonishing result, but Elipo goes on the inside on the hairpin, and this time it is a hairpin. Alfie Baron tries to go from the outside. It's a bit of an impossible move as he tries the cutback. Elipo very close to the grass. He kind of loses the rear of the car, and as a matter of fact he loses the speed, and Alfie Baron goes on the inside, and it's the change of the lead for the round number 1 in Kyalami, and Alfie Baron goes in first. Seems like Elipo wants to take the outside on the corner, nothing happens, and then into the corner of death, no death whatsoever, and then into Iwe, into 16, no revenge act by Elipo, and now it's Rumyasev trying to get into position. 7 times, 3 drivers, and this was the move for the lead, as Orman goes in 14th place. But I think Elipo really wants back the position. There was also a contact behind between Horman, Keenan and Juwig. You can see very briefly what happened here from the 31. This was the 31 making the move and then making a contact. And I think the two incidents were separated because it clearly wasn't involving Keenan further behind. As Elipo is now extremely close to Baron, but he's also ruining himself behind, trying to get as close as possible. Oh, Baron completely sideways into the S and goes into the wall. The race destroyed for the Englishman. How did it happen? On the S. I think he braked on the grass and then lost the car completely and went face on into the barrier. So now Baron is out of the win contention with Elipo in first. That has to stay in front of Rumyasev for the lead of the race. I would say enthusiastic race so far for everything that has happened until now. As I'm seeing, there is possible overtake situation in 18th place. For now I want to stay here as Zaktal is turning the overtake on Catania. The situation here is very close and tense, and I think it's the closest battle. It's for the lead with Sumit that started very much behind in 7th place. Now he's battling for the lead after effectively all the opponents he had have been taken out or made mistakes, as Pozniakov, speaking of people that were in the lead, is trying to make a move into 12th place and goes for the move along then Silver's driver, so I guess it's also a bit of a understanding that it's not for a class position, but it's rather for a position overall, which doesn't count for points. As Jones is now very close to the cars in front, you can see, I think Jones doesn't have any seconds of damage, but he has to stay clear of the drivers in proximity of him. Because Jones was starting in you see, because I wasn't prepared, in 38th place, so 18 places being gained by the Polish drivers, a very astonishing improvement, but not the best one, as the best one is now in 13th place, 23 places being gained, although Chris Jones gained 20, so not exactly the worst thing in the world. But I think now the fight is, Contogiani is very close to QL in the 25 Aston with some damage in the front. At this point I'm just wondering who doesn't have damage apart from the first 3 drivers, as Alfie Baron still pressuring, although with not great times. It is definitely setting a good set of times, pressuring Zakdal in 5th. For now we'll stay with this little battle of their own for 8th place. Contogiani is thinking about an inside that doesn't appear to be visible. And I think I need to see it from the wing. Okay, I can't really see it, to be honest. If Dustin behind does or doesn't have damage, it doesn't appear to be any sort of damage, but nevertheless it may just be a couple of seconds of damage or completely destroy the front end. Even if I think the Aston has, unless it's delivery, the front is not glued to the bonnet. And Contogiani is just as, oh, into the grass he went! He's breaking massively into the gravel, and Van Horn passes by. So the silver driver now in still in second place, but now in 10th overall. And this just moves the battle for position for 4th place, with Alfie Baron still possibly extremely angry about the situation that has happened. Remember that they don't have any pit window, if I remember correctly, because I don't want to make mistakes. No, there is a pit window, sorry. There is a pit window of 20 minutes. It's a rookie that doesn't have any pit window. 20 minutes of pit window from the... Oh, Zaktel has to defend. He's trying to defend as much as possible to Baron, that is making and trying to make the move into 5th place. The Bentley stays in front. The brick with its 20,000 kilograms of weight stays in front of the lightweight Honda. And the more agile Honda, but the Bentley is just quick enough to stay. As I was saying, 20 minutes of pit window, so that's why many drivers didn't pit for repair slash tire change. There is a pit window from 40 minutes to go to 20 minutes to go, and I think the second the pit window is open, as I'm seeing many drivers that are struggling a lot with their current race. Tarenskina in 20th place, Garbi in 30th. I'm missing someone. Oh, okay, it was Polovchuk that is not in the race anymore, as Pasnikov is in 12th place, and it is Daphne in 27th. I think Daphne really was the one that lost the most from the start of the race. A very unlucky placement, that's just it. That's just an unlucky placement. But anyway, Alfie Baron is in the top 10, the only one that lost a position. And if you didn't follow it, it was because of a loss of control in the S, as we are now staying here for for the battle. And obviously, if you are new to the stream, the green drivers are the pros and the blue ones are the silver. The two classes are split in terms of points, but not in the race. Overall, they count the same. Oh, major contact between the two drivers, and Sagetti and Pozniakov into the wall. And I think Pozniakov's race is demolished. As a matter of fact, it goes for a retirement, I guess. I want to see from the helicam how it exactly happened. There was Sagetti. Oh, I think it was Pozniakov oddly going to the right of the track, and I think he was the innocent part in that situation, in my honest opinion, because Pozniakov just had the space on the left, but didn't use it. Simply enough, simply put. And a minute and 36 to go for the drivers to pit for damage. So it's just a countdown at this point. Van Horn is not in the lobby anymore. I'm not entirely sure why. He was in 12th place, if I remember correctly. And anyway, I think now it's the first time I can brief effectively, as Waze is now going for the move on broken in half Porsche, as Chris Jones with a bit of an incident there. Oh, there is not a front end anymore. I didn't follow what happened, but the Honda is not really in a very good shape there. For now, Alfie, even with the damage, I'm quite astonished by the time he's setting. It seems like the car is made out of pure iron, because there is damage, but the time doesn't seem to be a real issue. 42.2, and the leader set at 41.9, with Rumchentsev making a 41.3. So at this point, I'm not entirely sure if his slow pace is because of the two cars in front or because of the damage. It's one of the two. And I'm questioning which one it is. And I think Varro will go into the pits. And same goes for basically 25 drivers that will dive into the pits. As there is the Porsche. It's not a Porsche. The Aston. Ah yes, the famous Porsche Vantage. The Aston Martin Vantage V8. With the Bentley going into the inside. Trying to get into the inside. And Alfie Barnum possibly is going to utilize this slow down from the Bentley to try a move or to go into the pits, and the answer is it doesn't go for the pits. I'm extremely surprised. Skiel is the first to go into the pits, 7th in Pro and 8th in overall. As I expected many more drivers to come for now, but I think we'll see basically a row of drivers launching themselves into the pits. As Cassitra, she's into the wall too! Just in front of the pit! How did it happen? How did it happen? As many drivers are going into the pits. Oh, he went into the grass and kept the throttle on, going full into the pits, and possibly even... Oh, there is another car being hit. It was Ian Dufner being hit. You can see he was trying to go into the pits and got smashed. So the two teammates not really understanding where one was going, and I think now the car was with possibly 1,000 years of damage, and same goes for Cassitarash, I suppose. It's a terrible day for the orange cars, with basically all of them being involved in some incidents. As Rumetsev is... Okay, this was unexpected. The gap wasn't that big. I think it was a mistake. It was indeed a mistake, as a matter of fact. He went into the gravel and lost the position. You can see now the Aston going in front into the lead. And now it is the time of the pits for many drivers. Alfie Baron went into the pits for damage repair, change of tires, and a drink, I suppose. With Zachtel very close still from Catania. With a Mercedes there being lapped. Not sure who that was. It was Sergio Osorio in the 203, in the 503 Mercedes. As for now, Elipo is in second place, the Catania in third, with Catania in fourth and Zagdal in fifth. I need to see the damage repair by many drivers. It was Alfie Baron. Okay. I absolutely didn't expect this. But Alfie Baron didn't repair the car. So either the car is effectively made out of pure steel and can't have any damage, or he is going for a very odd tactic. And it didn't go for damage repair. So I'm very curious now about the pace, because it doesn't have any car in front anymore. Maybe. For 5.6 seconds it doesn't. Obviously, there is now Alex Zachtel on the outside, possibly on the Aston in the lime. The lime colors, Alex Zachtel on the outside. But now the inside, a little contact between the two drivers with Aston going completely wide into the grass. And I think the little contact made the position happen. As Duran in the 100 is showing yellow flags in the middle of the track, of the gravel trap. For now we'll see if there is any response from Catania side. It doesn't seem to happen for now, so I think we can see the replay back. Because 97, okay, no we can't. Okay, we can. We can see the replay from the Helicam. You can see the Bentley on the inside, Aston not really leaving any space. Nearly a race being destroyed by a bit of resentment for giving the position, as there is a contact between Maja and Garbi. Garbi trying to make as many positions as possible from the last spot of the grid. Now in 14th place. So 27 position being gained. Same goes for Longden. 27 position and 9th place on track. And third in class, as Horman is very close to Sagetti, even if it's not for position in class. Nevertheless, it is a position. As I'm seeing, last place in pros is Terence Keenan that had a 35 seconds damage, so understandably one of the most destroyed cars. QL had 31 and Cross with 18, and I'm not seeing many more with Duran that went into the barrier. Blanchett had 24, Foltea had a ridiculous amount, a minute and 12, while Oddo had a minute and a half into the pits. But nevertheless, we go back into not really a place, because many drivers went into the pits, and McLaren is maybe trying the inside. It doesn't happen. So Sagetti stays in 6th place. Maybe. Or maybe not. Seems to be staying in 6th place. We go from the wing. As Horman is thinking about how to make the move happen. As Baron is now very close to Maja. That goes into the pits. No, doesn't. Okay, I thought for a moment I thought that the 213 was going into the pits. I'm very interested about Baron because he was effectively battling with Zachtel and Di Catania. And if anything happens, as Zachtel let Di Catania... Oh no, wait! Wait. Catania is... Oh, Catania went in... Okay, I made the mistake I was so much fearing about. Di Catania is not Catania. So Catania is in 14th place, 6 seconds behind Baron. And Baron is now, I think the McLaren of Mage is giving some space, understanding that they are not in the same race. So effectively this leaves Zakdal with a question mark, because Catania is already behind Baron and by a lot of seconds, and the answer is not because of damage. Maybe 6 seconds of damage, but nevertheless Baron made a 35-second pit, so I suppose missed the pit box. So very odd. I think pit entry wasn't that great for the Italian driver, now sitting behind the Englishman and in 14th place. Overall, as the McLaren Horner still trying the overtake, still trying to move, and I'm quite surprised that many drivers, as you can see from the window, didn't went into the pit. We are talking about the top 10 for now, with Prisha in 16th. As Prisha went into the pits, but didn't comply with the rules. 26 seconds pit, so effectively he didn't comply with the rules and he has to make the pit still. I think he went for damage repair at this point, and 26 damage of repair. Now a situation for position, it's 6th position. It's not a class position, but it's an overall one. And Longden is away because that Porsche is not in the fight. That Porsche is Ippolito in 26th place. Many drivers went in the pits. Di Catania, Rumines, and Akdal into the pits they went. You can see the damage on the rear of the Porsche and on the front splitter of the McLaren, but also there is behind no one. Effectively the Porsche is still a back marker, I forgot. And both drivers go into the pits! At the same time, not really a tactic I would do, going into the pits with a car in front of you. But nevertheless, they went the same moment, and now is a question mark. Can Baron overtake Zakdal? I'm quite surprised the car doesn't have front damage, even visually speaking. Just a tiny bit. Nothing to worry about. Nothing too much to worry about, apparently. And the answer has to be possibly. As Baron, you can see, is in front. You can see Baron is in front of Zakdal, so the undercut worked. And the no-repair strategy also worked. And now Baron is in 5th place, but Di Catania is 3 seconds ahead. Di Catania was effectively in 3rd place. So the podium is still a thing that can be gained. 44 are the drivers still on track. And quite interesting to see the pros that were the most involved ones, how they will effectively struggle to get back into a position that matters. Garbi is now into the pits and exits just now, as Keenan is very close to Mage. Goes force. What? My brain went offline for a moment. Keenan tried the move on Mage, and Garbi is still in front, turn 1. So effectively Garbi stays in front, leaving the Irishman behind. So the damage was really impactful for the car. Contogiani is now very close to the Porsche in front. Curtin, as in this point I don't think they no, okay, I will keep it. As Contogianis made a pit stop, 10-second damage repair. But apparently there is still some damage on the front being that has been acquired for in some ways. Curtin did a 15-second damage repair. Starting in 18th place, now in 8th. Time position being gained. And I think at least one has to come, considering that Longden still has to pit. Started in 36th place. Di Catania repaired the car a tiny bit. And still it's Prisha that has to make the pit to comply to the rules. of the mandatory tire change and the pit window, because he pitted in the very beginning, as odd you can see, letting the cars pass. And for the Advisor Racing team, Tom Curtin, they've been trying to get as many tenths as possible per lap. A bit tight into sunset. More than a bit. I think it was a very odd entry. But nevertheless, he used the grass a tiny bit. For now stays in front of Contogianis. Remember that this one is effectively for the lead of the class, because Curtin and Contogianis are first and second, with Longden still has to pit. At this point I'm questioning the tactic, because with 27 to go, okay, the overcut is good, but is it this good? As Elipo exits in the pits, stays in second. No damage. Repair and a perfect pit stop for both drivers, so Rumjansev is effectively still the leader of the race. In the 177, with Longden that is possibly trying the longest possible stint at this point, with questionable results in my opinion. But that's me, as Pritchett goes back into the pits for a second time, but an official first. As crosses with yellow flags into the turn that can be named. Oh, it was definitely a curb, a double curb for both drivers. This QL side by side with Cross. We are back just in time for the overtake on turn number 1. Cross is now in 16th place and QL is in 15th, although it's not for class position, it is for overall. 15th place overall for the Aston Martin driver, and the 26th is in 16th overall. But remember that the points only count for class. QL was quite obviously one of the involved from the major incident at the very beginning. And it was indeed a damage that line I was seeing on the front end of the car. It wasn't a livery fantasy. It's very close to... I think at this point I would egoistically use QL to overtake Goodway instead of trying the overtake. And I think at this point it may be the tactic this very moment, as I'm looking along then. Still in the pits, so at this point I think Curtin and, as a matter of fact, Contogianis, you heard the Honda starting, but it's too late. Contogianis passed already. And is it Kiss going to pass also? Longden is still in the pits, and the answer is yes. So third place goes for Kiss, and Longden is now in 4th place in class, and Jewig passes also the British diver. For now we'll stay here with the little train that is forming from Goodway to Cross, as QL stays behind. The Aston goes for the move at 25, and Goodway tries to defend, or rather to give a difficult time to the Aston. It doesn't happen, and the BMW goes for the inside move. Very egoistically speaking, it was the perfect move, using the car in front, a pro driver, to have a position, but Goodway doesn't want to give up the position, and Cross stays in front nevertheless. Another class position battle is this one for first place in the lead. Meanwhile, Keenan set 41.0, letting others understand that he was effectively fast, but apparently his luck is always very low. I can't believe he is this unlucky. Every single race, I can't really physically express it. From the rookie, I have been doing commentary on him from the rookies, and every single race there is one thing. It's like Hottie in the rookies, where every single race he was involved in an incident, and every single time it wasn't his fault. 41.0 is not the best, but it's tied by Zaktal in 5th place. So after all, the Bentley is not that much of a brick as I thought. Well, it is a brick, but not a slow brick. 7 cars are not in the race anymore. 8, to be honest. And so at this point, remember that obviously just finishing the race means you get points. And there are prizes at the very end of the season for who wasn't at the start. For first place in Pro, it's a pair of gloves with a personalized text. It is a pair of gloves and a pair of socks for first in the silver, and a pair of gloves for both Pro and Silver class P2. So definitely something to try to aim for, and every single point matters. At Di Catania is, I think he is playing the fastest lap game. 40.9 is effectively the only lap into the 40s for now. 40.9, and with his rhythm, Ruminev was very slow this lap. 41.7. Basically, an entire second has been gained by the Italian. 8 seconds behind the leader, with Elipo 3 seconds. As Yet is now trying the inside on Longden. It is for fourth place in class. Sorry, side by side with a little mistake from Longden, but the Porsche can't really make anything from the straight line disadvantage. Even if the braking zone is definitely into Porsche's favor, because the Honda takes 3 to 5 business days to brake for a corner, while the Porsche basically instantly brakes. For now we'll stay with this little fight. From the wing, along this wing, you can have the Porsche a bit. It seems like Saghetti is, maybe the Porsche overall is a bit struggling in Sunset, since effectively the nerf in the Porsche's downforce levels. I think. Now that I remembered it, I need to put this one here, because the pit stop is absolutely useless, as everyone made it. Already Longden. So 4th place in class. The leader fight in class was getting spicy, and then Curtin just flew away, or Contagianis just lost something from the car, some pieces. Longden still, I think it is still Longden, the best improving car. It is indeed. 24 places being gained by Longden, 36th on the start, and now in 12th place. But I think Saghetti wants the position. 17 places being gained by Saghetti. Now I think it's one more. No, it's not. It still isn't. Juwig 23 places and Kiss 22 places, with Horman 20. That little cluster of position was really lucky, because that's the word. Was really lucky. All the drivers in the same cluster, from Horman to Saghetti, basically started from the same positions, and they apparently had the effective luck to not being involved in the 20 cars pile-up that you can see from the past broadcast just now, because you can see it. Elipo goes quick, 40.6. All of a sudden Elipo said, okay, you know what? Quick. And went 6 times faster than Di Catania, and 3 faster than basically nearly 4 faster than Ruminev. So I think Elipo is now on the throttle with the entirety of his weight. lap time speaking, the first two were purple. He made the two best sector in the same lap of the entire grid, while Curtin has the last one. So Curtin apparently tonight Curtin wants to have a purple sector. he wants one, at least one in a way or another. It's not a question because he has the third one, and in qualifying he had the first. So oh yeah, okay, that were the lights. So the meatball flag being shown as the sky is darkening. As you can see here, it is nearly 7 o'clock. Wait, how many minutes are there? 17. Thing is that I can see them from my race controller. Why did I go to try to look at them from OBS? It is so little. Anyway, Prisha now trying the position on Basher. That's for I don't exactly know. I should count, but for now Prisha goes in positioning from the inside, sits on the apex, builds a house, but goes into 24th place overall and gains a position in silver class. And meanwhile, Elipo, you saw it, another faster, 40.5. Apparently, all of a sudden, Elipo, I think he set up the car for the night. It is the Porsche in IMSA, obviously. It is the Porsche master plan. I just hope it doesn't end like in IMSA, where the cars in IMSA in the Penske team were set for the nighttime, only for the nighttime. And I think Elipo saw them and said, you know what, it's a good idea. And as the temperatures drop, 19 degrees now, compared to the 26 we were starting from, 24, sorry. And I really think that Elipo set the car for the night, 41.2. I really think Elipo went strategy-wise in a very clever way. And the 69 is flying through the night. It is the Porsche strategy in an Aston Martin. Sacchetti is still very close to Longden at this point. I think he has been drawing the car in his cockpit, because how many laps have passed behind the Longden. And knowing that Honda has the straight line speed of about 200 kilometers per hour, 300 kilometers per hour, and the Porsche has more or less 25, it's very difficult to find a place. But the Porsche needs to work on the braking spots. That's the only way to get into position, as Dewey goes in 10th place overall, but it's not for position, so we'll stay here. As also Wilhelm and Chris Schneider battling for position, and I think for now, we can go see at them. Mercedes with some damage, Porsche with not damage, apparently. Schneider is in 17th place overall, 8th place in class. As Elipo set, apparently he had 41.4, so a bit of a loss. As now the Porsche is into the inside, but nothing can happen unless the Mercedes goes wide. But again, it's the same script. The Mercedes has a straight line advantage by many miles. Oh no, I used the miles per hour. Oh no, I'm becoming the only thing that I don't want to become, American. Anyway. Anyway, obviously I need a bit of comedy in the commentary. Absolute comedy, masterclass comedy. Literally, no one laughed. But anyway, disconnected 10 minutes before the end in the race was V8. Big F. That's the only thing I can say effectively. But unfortunate, obviously. Especially when it's round number 1. But it's round number 1, so you can get back the positions in the whole championship. 7 races, plenty of hours. Effectively, there are 6 hours to go if you want to take it into an endurance format. As Mark Willem is extremely close to the car in front. As also, there is an overtake there, it's Huel making a position not in class, while a battle in class is this one here, with the Porsche again into the inside, and this time it works! This time with a bit of contact it works! It goes along! Still side by side we go for the helicam, and apparently the Porsche doesn't have the position yet, although with a bit of a contact between the two drivers. And now there is also a third driver coming into the fight, and it's Garbi in the Honda. That may be also helpful for the battle position, because if Garbi wants to make the position on both drivers, it can happen. You can see here it's possibly side by side, it's 3 wide into turn 1, with the Porsche in the middle. Seems like a dance, as none of the drivers went for an overtake until now, with the Honda thinking about it. Really very close about it. I need this. Sorry for the interruption, but my voice was going into flames. As for now, Wayline still in front of Garbi, and in front of this little train is Chris Schneider. In front, as Rumniasev is still in front with 1.9 seconds of gap. Apparently Lipo is making the times, but not consistently. 41.9, disaster of a lap for the Polish driver. Now the Porsche, was it a loss of rear? Not entirely sure. I'm a bit tired of this camera, so I'm going to go in the wing. You can see the Porsche will possibly brake on the corner itself from the outside, possibly a wide to narrow entry. And as a matter of fact, it happens to be like this, but the Porsche stays still behind, glued to the diffuser. Mercedes is a bit wide, Porsche also a bit wide on the apex, leaving Garbi with a bit of a VIP pass to watch the battle sparkling. As Longden with yellow flags. Oh, Longden is into the wall. It's a disaster. It was in a perfect spot. How did it happen? Was it because of contact? Oh no, he lost the car. He lost the car on himself. Disaster for Longden. He was 4th in class. 4th in class after gaining 200 positions. And now in 19th place. Everything went into flames. That's terrible. Because I was really looking forward to his positioning at the end. But I can't say names. I remember you all. I'm a very bad luck charm for whoever I mention. So now we go with Conto Giannis. Please don't crash. Please don't do it. For the battle for the lead in class. Elipo is 1.5 seconds, there are still 10 minutes to go. And with this rate, if Elipo can maintain the car on track effectively, because this is the problem. Rumniasev is clearly losing grip on the car, but Elipo is losing the car. In places I'm seeing the Elipo doesn't have a valid lap time, so I suppose the pink car went out of track limits. But if the pace is there consistently, there may be a change for the lead in the very close future, as Alfie Baron, after the incident, now has to defend on Zakdal behind him. For now we'll stay with the battle for the lead in class. Still Conto Giannis and still Curtin. You can see from the split at the Porsche a bit of a disadvantage in the straight, but Kyalami is not really a speed-wise track. It's more of a technical and downforce kind of circuit, and the Porsche really goes along with the lines. just that Ferrari is very close to the diffuser. For Advisor Racing Team, that may have a win in their wallet at the end of the hour. The Porsche is very quick, the Porsche. The Ferrari is not exactly the quickest car in a straight, let's be honest. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you all, the straight speed advantage, the best speed trap has been set by Rumtsev with 241 km per hour, while the worst has been set by a Porsche, to the surprise of everyone, with 233, which is Curtin and Saggetti and every other Porsche, effectively. But Contagianis just made us 235, so effectively the Ferrari is not that great in the speed compared to the Porsche, luckily for the leader. That has been in the lead for, I think, the last 54 minutes at this point, as Willian is now in front of Kitchenatter. I think the Ferrari may have a chance this time because Curtin lost the rear a tiny bit on traction. You heard the tires screeching, and the Ferrari is very close to the rear. In fact, there is a miss that has to happen from the Ferrari driver, and Contagianis is now very far. You can see back from the splitter, you can see the braking spot was already past the brake marker on the left, and luckily no contact happened between the two drivers. And the Ferrari is now 1.5 away from the leader with Cross. We're trying to make a position in 13th place overall, which is number 4 for the Pune driver, with just less than 6 minutes to go, and there is in the lead. Okay, the lead is very close now. The lead is extremely close now. It is 8 tenths between Elipo and Rumtsev. I think we may see it. I really think we may see it. I hope. I honestly hope. For now, a bit of sparks flying by. 8 tenths, 7 tenths. It's very close between the two drivers. It will be a good recovery from qualifying for the 176. And just a consolidation of the pace from the Polish driver that managed to get the best out of the night time. But the time is coming to halt. And quickly. 41.1, just a tenth being gained. More are needed. More than a tenth is needed to get the position number 1 in the lead. For now, until I don't see any overtake between Saggetti and Cross, we'll stay with the battle over here in the last 5 minutes. As is now 8 tenths. The gap is basically is basically floating a bit on the grass. It seems like every time there is a mistake by the driver in the 69 car. It's very unfortunate because the pace is there. 40.5 was the fastest lap being set. So it's not like they are a slow driver, it's more like there isn't the consistency that can provide them with the win. A little bit of silence while I was thinking what to say. For now, I can see there is still some drivers into a fight. There is still a battle for the lead. Okay, it's effectively a double fight for the lead of the class. Still with Contagianis, and we'll stay with them because effectively I said we'll stay with the leader. I didn't specify which class. The number 8. The defensive action is in place. Terrible lap time being set by Curtin in this moment, because the gap was 1.2 at the beginning of the lap, so possibly a mistake somewhere around. The Ferrari going on the throttle a bit too quickly, in my opinion. maybe not happy with the line that they were taking. Oh, the Porsche is not taking a good line. Okay, never mind. It was very wide, but was working. And now Curtin on the wing we go. And I think it's 2 laps to go. 42. Yes, it is 2 laps to go. Maybe just 1. I don't know. The white flag is around the corner though. The time is not much to play with. Ferrari has to move. Same goes for the Aston. Same goes for the BMW. Same goes for the Honda way behind the grid. Same goes for the Porsche. Multiple cars into the battle for position in class. There is also QL. Very close to Juwig. So we may see a very good amount of drivers making the best possible action in the last corners, while the Ferrari goes on the inside. Little contact between the two drivers. The Porsche is on the outside. The Ferrari kinda takes the Porsche driver by surprise, and the position has been done by Contogiannis in the Ferrari. And the lead. There's a change for the lead. And meanwhile, there is also a change for the position number 3, the podium, as the white flag goes out. So white flag sponsored by Pursim Gear for the first race of the season. Saggetti into the lead, and Cross goes also in Keys' position. So Keys in a terrible situation there. It was the Mercedes driver having the worst possible positioning on track. And Saggetti making the podium. Cross just behind. And at this point I don't think Paul will make it to the lead with very little meters to go for them. As the first couple of corners are already passed by, while for the leader in class, in the silver class, they still have to start, while QL went for a move into the Crocodiles. So 10th place overall and 8th in class. Al Curtin still behind the Ferrari, but nothing is over yet. The Porsche is very good everywhere where we talk about braking, but the Ferrari is very good into entry. And you possibly understood that the position is not something that can be achieved, and thus the pace has been slowed down. 1.5, 1.7. In fact, I think the race is effectively over for the Aston Martin 69, giving the lead and the win of the race to the 176 that will come across the finish line for the first race of the season, first of 7 races for the Pursuing Gear GT3, and goes to Alexander Rumchasev. 5 position better than the starting position, while Elipo is in 2nd, and Di Catania, the Italian, concludes the podium in 3rd place, while Baron goes in 4th, still in front of Zagdal in 5th place, with Catania in 6th place overall. And in Pro Class, while Contogiannis, you saw the 2 cars coming across the camera, they are one after the other, but I don't think there will be a change of position unless, okay, no unless, as I'm seeing Cross is now in the podium. I want to see it back later on, because there is a position change. Okay, I need to go here because the Porsche is on the inside and the BMW is on the outside, so this point may go to Porsche's favor. Cross is still in 4th. Saggetti stays in front for the podium. Curb of death being passed. The BMW has to launch the car into the rear, otherwise there's no position being done, and I think the BMW doesn't have it. Little mistake by the Porsche, but not enough for Cross to get the podium, with Keys completing it in 5th place in class. And that is a good way, 16th place overall. And I already forgot 6th place in class. And I'm seeing Keenan after, I can't really, okay, Keenan after a race completes the race in 17th, Willa in 18th, and now my race control is going into flames. I can't really pick any driver, so we'll stay weekly line. Okay, Krishnadi in 19th and Longden in 20th place, and then all the other drivers you can see from the standing here. So Romitsev is effectively the winner of the race for the Pro Class, while Contogiannis is the leader for the Silver Class, a very close one for the leader. And definitely a very good race to be seen. And I don't have a voice anymore. I really don't have a voice anymore, so apologies if my voice is starting to really going down the drain. And I need to see here. Okay, so I suppose for the next round we'll see some trouble in terms of penalty. Obviously, these are not the final standings, considering what happened at the start. But I think we have the guilty part. Unfortunately, I can't show the replay. I would like to do so, but I really can't. And I should think about how to do it. Maybe if I can... Maybe I can... Okay, maybe I can do it. I don't want, but I can. No, okay, Oh no, okay, it's actually quite easy, so for the next time I will do it. But anyway, this was a very good race. I'm waiting if there is any interviewer. Interviewer, I don't know interviewer, because I am the interviewer. And I will just wait a couple of minutes. If anyone fancy to join. Even if I'm expecting the winner, but I don't think at this point the winner will come by. But anyway, it was a very good race. Speaking of points, next time is going to be Zolder. And as always, 60 minutes of race, as always. Scoring, we are speaking for the leader, it's 25 points, and then one less per position being lost. So 10th position gets 16th position, 16 points, 5th place gets 21, and 1st place gets 25, but until the 25th position everyone has a point, plus an additional point for the fastest lap, which is awarded to Elipo. So now Elipo and effectively they are both in the lead, because both Elipo and Rumetsev have 25 points. And go here. But anyway, seems like no one is coming for any interview for now, unless anything else. I'll just wait a minute more. But obviously, I hope that this was enjoyable as a race to be seen and to be heard. I really had a very hard time doing the commentary for the start. It was quite a lot of frenzy was in the air at that moment, and I will just wait a couple of seconds more. But in the end, as always, if you want to have an entrance race tomorrow, there is the 4 hours of Brandsatch. There is next week, the Tuesday, and with the rookies, the Tuesday with the Timpson, and the Friday with the Pulse Team Gear, with me and the commentary booth for both Tuesday and Friday, all in British commentary by an Italian commentator. So this makes this makes a lot of sense, I promise. But anyway, this was it for tonight, as I'm not seeing anyone coming into the interview room. This was it for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the hour and a half with me. Take care, and see you all either tomorrow with me driving, or Tuesday with, I think it's, I can't remember who's doing the commentary there, to be honest. I'll just be honest. And Tuesday with the rookie, and Friday with this Pulsing Gear every week, and the same clock. But anyway, see you all around. Bye!